Hi, I'm Crystal. Today we're going to take some scraps and make a paper quilt card. So I'm using the scraps left from making the birthday cards for the craft fair. And I've got a fun envelope picked out. I've got my card base and I've got a pink card front. And then I've cut a piece of thin copy paper to about the same size as the front of the card. So I'm going to adhere my quilt pieces to this piece of copy paper. I've trimmed my scraps down to 1-inch squares. I used a paper trimmer, but a punch would work well here. And then I'm using some dry adhesive to attach the squares to the copy paper. Now I do think that dry adhesive is the way to go here. I think that liquid glue would make the pieces pucker up too much, but the dry adhesive, perfect. And since this is a crazy quilt, I'm picking the pieces up at random and just trying not to get the same pattern right next to itself each time. Now once I get all of the pieces attached, I will just trim the edges of this panel until they're straight. And the other alternative for dry adhesive I'm going to try is a Xyron sticker maker, because I happen to have one. Now this is not the most cost-efficient adhesive. I've got a link in the description box to a write-up I did on this subject where I actually calculated the price per ounce of glue or per foot of dry adhesive. And the Xyron runs about 30 cents a foot. That's pretty high. But I'm all about using what you have, and I have the Xyron sticker maker. I've had this for probably 20 years. The refills do not go bad. There are no batteries. You just feed the pieces in the top and pull the tape out the back. It's really handy, so I don't know why I don't use it more often. I may as well use the refills I have. So once I've fed in all the scrappy pieces, again, I'm just going to put them onto that piece of copy paper in random order, trying not to get the pieces next to each other that are the same pattern. So one thing about the Xyron is that the edges of your pieces that go through the Xyron are a little bit sticky when you get to the end. So there is an old scrapbooker's trick for this, and that is baby powder. So I'm just taking the baby powder and brushing it across the top of this project with a dry paintbrush, and the baby powder sticks to that little bit of adhesive that's on the edge of each piece, and you just have to be careful to brush off all the excess, and that takes all the sticky away, and then the top of your card is not going to stick to the inside of the envelope. So once I've got everything trimmed up, I'm going to run those through with an embossing folder to simulate some stitches. You could also use a pen to draw some stitches on if you prefer. And then I'm going to pick the one that I prefer, and I'm going to take my card base and my card panel and assemble it, and that's it. That's our very quick project. So thank you for joining me today.